Mhm.
Yeah. A very good evening to one and all. Hope you are able to hear me and able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah. So any new joiners are there in the today's session? So please use the chat box. Please use the chat box for communication. Okay. Any new joiners are there in the today's session? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So guys, I will give you like as in the I will give you like as in the few minutes at the end of our session. So to answer your questions. Okay. So in order to get like as in the effective session, so please hold on your questions, guys, during the session itself. If you have any questions, I will give you the time at the end of the session itself. Don't worry about that one. Okay. Yes. So as part of our yesterday's session, so before starting off our today's discussion, okay. So first, let me give you just the brief information about the yesterday's discussion, guys. So whoever like as in the join for the today as in the new, so you can get like as in the course content from the Ashok IT portal, okay, and also you can go through the yesterday's recording as well. Okay, you can go through the yesterday's recording. So what we are going to be the cover as part of this the training program, all such information you are going to get here, sir. As I already mentioned, the course duration for this the training program is 1 month plus or minus 10 days. Okay, it might be on the 1 month of 10 days as well. Okay, the prerequisite for this training is nothing, sir. Okay, you just need to be the focus here. So so you no need of any prerequisites for learning this training program as well. Okay, the mode of the training is online training only, sir. It is an online training mode. Okay, the session timings are going to be in the fixed, sir. That would be in the morning, evening like 9 p.m. to 10 to 10:15 p.m. as max. Okay, the session will be on the weekdays from Monday to Saturday. Okay, the course fee for this, the course fee for this, the training program is 4K, sir. Okay, so like you can get like as in the session recording of an yesterday's recording, sir. Okay, if anybody wanted any new joiners are there in the today's session, so you can go through that the today's yesterday's recording, so to get to know like more details about the training program, all these things, sir. Okay, yes. Okay, as part of our yesterday's discussion, we just started with an what? Introduction to database concepts, sir. Okay, so what we have covered, sir, on yesterday. So what is data? What is data, sir? What is data? Yesterday we started with the database concepts, sir. So just understanding the important terms as part of in the database terminology. What is data and what is a database and what do you mean by what is the DBMS? All such things we have discussed, sir, on yesterday. What is the data, sir?
Information.
Real world.
Information about of an information about any real world object. Okay, information about so information information about the any real world object, we can call it as an what? The data, sir. And we took like as in the best example in the college management system, so often the student. So yeah, like we identified like as in the sum of the information of an the student. What are those? Roll number, name of an the student, okay, roll number and the name of an the student, branch of an the student, age of the student, and the gender of an the student. So when you are holding some information about of an the real world object, when you are holding some information about of an the real world object, that is called the data, sir. So what do you mean by database? What do you mean by database? A grouping of yes. So like the database is nothing but an what? It's a grouping of what? Okay, the database is nothing but an what? A grouping of the grouping of the several data into a single unit. We can call it as in the database, right or not, sir? So a group of students information which we are going to hold into a single unit, call it as in what? Database. Okay, what do you mean by DBMS? DBMS is nothing but on the technique, or DBMS is nothing but on the technique to manage, to store and retrieve the data from the database. Understand, guys? DBMS is nothing but on the technique. Okay, DBMS is on the technique, guys. So which is purely meant for what? Managing the data, storing the data, and retrieving the data, sir. That is what? The DBMS. DBMS we can call it as in what? Database management system, sir. Database management system. Okay, so in the traditional days, how we are going to manage the data, sir? In the traditional days, how we are going to manage the data? Without invention, like yes, in the books, sir. Okay, earlier days we used we managed the data in the form of the books. Okay, in the form of the books, sir. Okay, so later whenever the computers was discovered, the data is managed in the form of what? Files, right? So when you are managing the data in the form of the file system, so we have some of the drawbacks. What are those, guys? We identified the some of the drawbacks, right, on yesterday. So no security, okay, data redundancy, data inconsistency, okay, data inconsistency, there is no backup for the there is no backup for the files. All such information which we have discussed on yesterday, sir. Okay, with respect to the file system. So in the current trending in the market, so like for every kind of every kind of an application in the real world, okay, must and should is connected with another one database at least or not, sir? So in our day-to-day activity, we are interacting with several applications such as what? Facebook application, LinkedIn application, okay, Ashok IT Tech portal, okay, Flipkart.com, Amazon.com. All these are applications which are connected to a particular database for storing and managing and retrieving the data or not? Come on, guys.
Sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in this the digital era or in the digital world, so every application, okay, in every application must and should is connected with another database supporter, sir. So because of storing the information of the business and retrieving the information of the business and managing the information of the business, sir, right? So that is what is the very important for us. And we identified we identified the some of the database softwares are available in the market. What are those, guys? Come on. Oracle database from Oracle Corporation, and it is a proprietary license. Okay, so MySQL database is also from Oracle Corporation. It is an open source. The DB2 database from IBM Corporation. SQL Server database from Microsoft Corporation. Okay, Derby database from where? So Sun Microsystem, and Postgres SQL database as well. Okay, yeah, these are the some of the popular the database softwares are available in the market, sir. So for all the above database software will comes under what category, sir? RDBMS databases, sir. RDBMS databases. RDBMS databases means nothing but what? Relational database management system, right? So relational database management system. Okay. In the relational database management system, how we are managing the data, sir? How we are managing the data in the relational database management system? In the relational database management system, the data okay, the data will be managed in the form of relations, sir. Relations means nothing but an tables. Okay, so relations are nothing but an what? Tables, sir. Okay, so in the relational database, okay, in RDBMS database case, in the relational database management system, always the data will be in what? Structured format. Structured format. That is what? Nothing but an tables. Okay, so basically the table will contains what, guys? Table will contains what?
Rows and columns.
Some columns.
Rows and columns, sir. Okay, so with
Please
respect,
mute everyone, guys.
yes.
Please mute, sir, all of you.
Sir, please mute everyone, sir. Their voices are overlapping. Please
Yeah.
mute all participants.
Yes, sir. Yes, everyone, please mute.
Just give me a second, sir. Just
They are
give me a
telling like
second.
school kids, sir.
Please mute all. This is
Yes,
our
sir, please.
Disturbing, sir.
Disturbing, sir, so much. Very.
We are also know everything, but please stop.
Sir,
Guys, I already muted you all, guys. So, 1 minute, guys.
You have not muted to anyone, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. Okay. Yeah. So in the relational database management system, the data will be another managed in the form of the relations case. That is nothing but the tables, sir. Okay. At the same way, in the relational database management system, always the data will be stored in the form of what? Structured format, sir. Structured format means nothing but the tables. Table means nothing but what? A collection of rows and the columns, sir. Okay. Collection of the rows and the columns. And with respect to the RDBMS, okay, with respect to the RDBMS, sir, with respect to the RDBMS, okay, so columns are represented as what? Fields. Columns are represented as what, guys? Fields, guys. So when it comes for the rows are nothing but what? Rows are nothing but what? Tuples. Okay, in RDBMS, guys, the columns are representing as what, guys? Fields, sir. Okay, in case of the rows will be representing as what? Tuples. Okay, so tuples, sir. Rows are nothing but what? Tuples. And so then, so what we can say, sir, tables are nothing but what? Relations. Tables are nothing but what? Relations, sir. That's all. In RDBMS, the columns are technically call it as on the fields, and the rows are nothing but what? Tuples, and the tables are nothing but what? Relations, guys. Understand my point or not? So use the chat box, guys. Use the chat box. Yes, fields are nothing but on the columns, sir. As we know that one. Okay. For example, in RDBMS, okay, in a RDBMS case, for example, if you are going to have like as in the customers table, sir. Okay. So for example, this is what the customers. So this is nothing but on what? Table, sir. Table. This is what the table. What the customer table contains? Customer table always contains what? Customers information, sir. So every customer will have what? Customer ID. Okay, every customer will have some customer ID, and every customer will have some customer name. Okay, and every customer will have what? Customer location as well. Okay, customer location as well. Okay, observe carefully, guys. Observe carefully. See here. So this is what the customer ID, and this is nothing but on what? Customer name. Okay, and this is nothing but on what? Customer location, sir. Okay, the customer location. Okay, 1025, that is customer ID, something like Mahesh, and the customer location is what? Hyderabad. Okay, so we can have multiple customers, sir. We can have what? Multiple customers in this table. Okay, we can have like what? Multiple records in the table, sir. Okay, yes, 1026, 1026, 27, okay, 28, okay, 29. Okay, we can make it as an what? Mahesh in place of what? Suresh. Okay, Rajesh. Okay, something like Rajesh and a Nagesh. Okay, and what? Naresh. Okay, yes. So 5 things, sir. Okay, 5 records are there here. So the customer locations are going to be in the change anywhere. Okay, no problem. That is one customer is for Delhi. Another customer is what? Bangalore. Okay, another customer is what? Chennai. Okay, another one is called what? Pondicherry. Okay, that's all. So see, sir, if you observe closely here, okay, yeah, if you observe closely, guys, so customer ID and the customer name and the customer location, all these are nothing but on the fields, sir. Okay, the fields are nothing but on what, guys? The customer ID and the customer ID, the fields are nothing but on what? The fields are nothing but on what? The fields means nothing but on the columns. Okay, that is nothing but on what? Customer ID and customer name, and then followed by what? Customer location, sir. These are nothing but on the fields, sir. Fields are nothing but on the columns. Okay, so 1025. So these are nothing but on what? Tuples. Tuples. So each row will be representing as what? Tuples, sir. So first row is one tuple, second row is another tuple, third row will be another tuple. So like we have the 5 tuples are there in the table. Understand, guys? So here the table is what? Relation. Okay, relation, sir. Okay, table is nothing but on what? The relation, sir. So these are nothing but on the tuples, and the fields are nothing but on what? Customer ID, customer name, customer location, or nothing but on the fields of the customer, sir. Sir, tuples means nothing but a row of information, sir. A row of information, we can call it as a tuple. Okay, a row of information, we can call it as the tuple, guys. Nothing more than that. Okay, yes. Okay, yeah. This is how in the relational database management, we are going to manage the data in the form of relations only, guys. Understand or not? Understand or not? So means in RDBMS database softwares, whatever we have highlighted, such as what Oracle database or MySQL database or Postgres SQL database or SQL Server, okay, SQL Server, all these are the databases, all these are the databases, all these are the databases are managing the data in the form of relations. Relations means nothing but on the table notation. Table means nothing but a collection of rows and columns. Each row we can call it as an what tuple. Each column we can call it as an field. That's all. Okay. All the RDBMS database softwares will manage the data in the form of what? Relations, guys. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Oracle is an RDBMS database software or not? Oracle is an RDBMS database or not? Yes. So Oracle is an Oracle is an RDBMS database software, guys. Oracle is an what? RDBMS database software. MySQL is also what? RDBMS database software, guys. So in those RDBMS database software, the data are going to be in the managed for an application in the form of what? Table format. That is nothing but an structural representation, sir. Okay. That is nothing but an what? Structural representation. Okay. In RDBMS database in RDBMS databases, always the data will be managed in the form of structured format. This is all about RDBMS database softwares, guys. Okay. So as I told you, in this the training program, guys. Okay, in this the training program, we will be the covering only the 2 RDBMS database softwares. Okay, simultaneously we are going to be the cover like as in what? 2 RDBMS database softwares, guys. Okay, 2 RDBMS softwares. What are those? We are going to be the cover as Oracle and MySQL. Okay, simultaneously. So we are going to work with what? So simultaneously, we are going to work with what? Oracle database and MySQL database in this the training program, guys. Okay. Yes. So guys, RDBMS is nothing but the data. Yes. Okay. Yes. RDBMS databases are nothing but what? RDBMS databases are nothing but what? Oracle and MySQL we are going to communicate, says. Okay. Yes. So guys, as a end user, okay, as a end user, guys, understand carefully. Typically, as a end user, generally, guys, in the real world, so how the one person will communicate with another person, sir? How the one person will communicate with another person? Come on, guys. How the one person in the real world, so how the one person will communicate with another person, guys? By using some language. Yes. So by using some language, right? So if I want to communicate from one person to another person, definitely we require like as in what? The language support, sir. Right or not? So what would be the common language, sir? What would be the common language if you are able to communicate from one person to another person? English will be considering as an what? English will be considering as an what? It's a common language, right or not? English will be what? Common language, sir. So person to person communication, the common language will be what? English. Okay. If the Telugu guy had a conversation with an Hindi guy, means tell me the communication will be ineffective or not? Will not be an effective, right? Will not be an effective. So at the same way, if I wanted to communicate from one person to another person in the real world, definitely we required a channel between those two persons called what? Language. That language will be what? English. Commonly understandable language for every person called what? English, sir. English. Okay. At the same way, if the end user, okay, if the end user means nothing but an what? A normal user. Whether it might be on the technical guy or the non-technical guy. So think, live about that one. If a end user wanted to communicate with, communicate with what? Wanted to communicate with what, guys? RDBMS database softwares. RDBMS, the database softwares, guys. If the end user wanted to communicate with what, guys? RDBMS database softwares, guys. Then definitely we required like as in the language or not. If the end user wanted to communicate with any RDBMS database softwares, okay, definitely we required a channel between the user and the database software called what? Language, guys. Okay, that language will be what? SQL. SQL. SQL is a common language. SQL is a common language between the end user or between the end user and any RDBMS database or softwares, guys. Understand? By using like as an SQL, we can communicate. We can communicate with Oracle database. We can communicate with MySQL database, and we can communicate with the SQL Server database, and we can communicate with what? So DB2 database. So this is a common language. This is the common language, guys. This is the common language. So this is the common language which helps to interact with the database RDBMS database softwares, guys. Understand? Okay. Yes. So okay, if the end user wanted to communicate with any RDBMS database software such as Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, PostgreSQL, okay, like okay, PostgreSQL. So that is nothing but on what? So SQL, sir. SQL stands for what? Structured query language, sir. Okay, structured query language. By using like as in the SQL only, we are able to communicate with any database related to what? RDBMS. Understand my point or not? So yesterday someone asked the question, sir, if you learn like as in the Oracle, so am I able to work with any other databases or not? Yes, sir. As I told you, so there would be the common language between the RDBMS database softwares from the end user. So that is called structured query language, sir. By using like as in SQL, we are going to communicate with the any RDBMS database softwares, guys. Understand? Sir, SQL is a programming language to interact with the database software. MySQL is nothing but on the database software, guys. That is what the difference between SQL and MySQL. Understand? So that is what the difference between the SQL and MySQL. SQL is what? Programming language, guys. MySQL is nothing but on the database software. Okay? Yes. Hope you guys are comfortable how we are communicating with the RDBMS database softwares. Any doubts up to now? Yes. Okay, sir. So in the market, so we may have another kind of the database softwares are available in the market as well, sir, such as non-relational databases. See, relational databases are also called as an what? SQL databases, sir. What we can call, sir? Relational databases are also called as an what? SQL databases. Okay, so let me mention here, sir. Relational databases are also called as what? SQL databases, sir. Okay, yes, SQL databases. Understand, guys? Yes, sir. That is what we have discussed, sir. Okay, that is what we have discussed. That is Oracle. Okay, MySQL. Okay, MySQL, and then SQL Server. Okay, then SQL Server and PostgreSQL. Okay, DB2. Derby, etc. Okay. So in the RDBMS database are also called as an what? SQL server, SQL databases, guys. Okay. Using these SQL databases, RDBMS are also called as an what? Non-SQL databases, sir. Okay. Non-RDBMS databases are also called as an what? Non-SQL databases, sir. Or we can say it as an what? NoSQL databases. Okay. Yes. So NoSQL databases, or we can say about RDBMS database software case. So see in the NoSQL databases, so the data is going to be managed in several formats, sir. Okay. So in the NoSQL databases, guys, the data will be managed in several formats. Understand or not? In the several formats, sir. And means that, so we do not have any proper we do not have any kind of the data format support for NoSQL databases, guys. Okay, some data for some of the NoSQL databases will support like the data format as what? Documents. Some of the NoSQL database supports, some of the NoSQL databases will support the format as an what? Key value pairs. Okay, some of the NoSQL databases will maintain the data internally in the form of what? Column wise. Okay, some of the NoSQL databases are maintaining the data in the form of what? Graphs. Okay, see in the NoSQL databases or non-relational databases, guys, the data will be managed. So the data will be managed in the several format, or we can say what? The data will be managed in unstructured manner, sir. In a RDBMS database management, the data will be managed in the structured format, guys. That is what the tables of rows and columns. But in case of NoSQL databases, the data will be managed in the several formats. Okay, in the several formats, sir. And we do not have any common language to communicate with NoSQL databases, guys. Understand my point or not? We do not have any common language. We do not have any common language to communicate with what? The NoSQL databases, guys. Understand, guys? Here, the NoSQL databases, the data will be in the structured format or semi-structured or unstructured? Yes, sir. We are not going to cover with the NoSQL databases in this training program. Just for understanding purpose. I'm just highlighting the NoSQL databases as well. Okay, so in the NoSQL databases, the data will not be managed in the form. The data will not be in the structured format case. Always the data will be managed in what? Unstructured format or semi-structured format. Okay, so we have some of the NoSQL databases are available in the market case. We have some of the NoSQL databases are available in the market. As I told you, so we have document based databases. Okay, so the document based the databases are nothing but what? MongoDB. MongoDB is a document based database case, because the data will be managed in the MongoDB in the form of what? JSON format. In the form of what? JSON format, sir. Okay, JSON format. So MongoDB is an excellent example of such a database case. Documents are considering as an what? Independent units. Documents are used for what? Documents are representing as an what? Independent units case. Document based databases are nothing but an what? NoSQL database case. This is what? NoSQL database. And then followed by what? The best example is what? MongoDB. MongoDB, sir. Okay, so MongoDB, sir. Okay, here internally the data will be stored in a JSON format. Okay, JSON format, sir. JSON means nothing but the key value pairs. Understand, guys? Document based databases is the best example for what? MongoDB, sir. Internally the data will be stored in the form of what? JSON format, sir. JSON means nothing but in this way, sir. Okay, key value pairs. That's all. This is the open key, open curly brace and close curly brace, guys. This is nothing but on what? Customer ID. Okay, that is customer ID, guys. That is nothing but on 123. Okay, and then like what? The customer name. Okay, so customer name, sir. Okay, customer name. That is nothing but on Mahesh. This is what, how the data will be managed in the MongoDB. Okay, so this is nothing but on the document case. Understand? Yes. So this is the one way. This is the one way of so this is the first type of NoSQL database called what? Document based databases, guys. Okay, so what is another type of database? The key value based database, guys. Okay, the key value based the database. Okay, another type of the database called what? The key value. That is nothing but on what? Key value. Okay, the key value based databases. So what is the best example for that? Any idea? So this is also what? NoSQL database. This is also what? NoSQL database, guys. So what is the best example for this? What is the best example for this? HBase. HBase, or we can say what? HBase, or we can say what? Cassandra or DynamoDB. Okay, DynamoDB and Cassandra are the best examples for this. So, or the best example for is what? Okay, so Dynamo, so or we can what? Cassandra DB or DynamoDB. Okay, DynamoDB. It's nothing but on what? So key value pairs. So key value pairs, the data will be managed internally in the form of the database. Okay, in Cassandra DB or the DynamoDB, guys. So internally the data will be managed in the form of what? Key value pair notation. Understand, guys? So what is another type of the database? Another type of the NoSQL database are going to be available. That is what? Column wise. Column wise. Okay, that is nothing but on what? Column based. So column based database, guys. Okay, so column based database is also what? NoSQL database only, guys. Okay, sir, for understanding and knowledge purpose only, I'm just highlighting the NoSQL databases, guys. Okay, so NoSQL databases. Okay, so in the column based NoSQL databases are nothing but on what? So columns of data. So such as what? HBase. Okay, HBase. HBase is the best example for that. Okay, HBase is the best example for that, sir. Okay, column based the databases. Understand? So another type of okay, HBase is nothing but on what? So column based databases, guys. Another type of the database is called what? Graph databases, guys. Graph databases. Graph database, guys. Graph database is also comes under what? NoSQL database. Okay, comes under what? NoSQL database, guys. The best example is what? Neo4j. Neo4j and GraphQL is the best example for GraphQL. Is the best example for what? So best example for what? Graph databases, guys. Understand, guys? Hope you guys are comfortable. So NoSQL databases are in the NoSQL databases are managing the data in the several formats, guys. Document based databases, key value based databases, and column wise database or column based database, or we can call it as in what? Graph based database as well. Okay, MongoDB will comes under as in what? Document based database case, and key value pair based NoSQL database will comes under as in what? Cassandra DB and DynamoDB. Okay, and column based databases are nothing but on what? HBase is the column based the DB, sir. Okay, graph database is meant for what? Neo4j and GraphQL are nothing but on the graph based the databases case. Clear, everyone? So these are the two types of the database softwares are available in the market. One is RDBMS database software, or we can call it as an what? SQL database, Okay, and non-RDBMS database software also called as an what? NoSQL database case. For the NoSQL database, we do not have any common query language to retrieve the data. Understand, guys? So no, in the NoSQL database case, we do not have any common language to retrieve the data from NoSQL databases case, because so NoSQL databases will have their own storage mechanism for managing the data. Always in the NoSQL database, the data will be stored in the structured format or unstructured format. The data will be stored in the structured format or unstructured format, guys. Unstructured format. So which type of the database will supports like as in the structured format? RDBM, so SQL databases or NoSQL databases? SQL databases. So as part of our training, we are just going to be the focusing on what? SQL databases only, sir, such as Oracle and MySQL. Okay. Yes. Clear? This is all about the types of the database softwares are available in the market, sir. Understand, sir? For knowledge purpose, and I just given you the if I given you the information about NoSQL databases case. That's all. Nothing more than that. Okay. Yes, sir. As part of the Oracle, so we will be the in order to communicate. Come on, guys. Yes. So observe carefully, guys. So as a end user, okay. So see here, as a end user, guys, could you please tell me how he is going to interact with the database? Okay. So he is a end user, sir. He is a end user and will be the taking of what? The database. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just a minute. For assume that this is what as in the Oracle DB, and so we'll be taking as on what? Sorry, guys. Why this one is showing happen? No. Okay, Control V, guys. Sorry, why this one is okay. Assume that there are the 3 database softwares are available here. Okay. Yes, assume that there are the 3 database softwares are available here, sir. One is a Oracle database. Okay, Oracle DB, and the next one is what? MySQL DB. Okay, MySQL DB. DB, and then for what? SQL Server, sir. SQL Server, sir. These 3 are the different databases. These are the 3 different databases, guys. As a end user, how we are going to communicate with the database, such as MySQL and Oracle. Yeah, tell me, as a end user, how we are going to communicate, sir? How we are going to communicate with the several? How we are going to communicate with this RDBMS database? Okay. Yes. See here. This is what SQL language. SQL language, guys. Okay. So this is nothing but on what? SQL language, guys. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And using like as in the SQL language only will be the communicating with any RDBMS database software, guys. Understand? Yes. So SQL stands for what? SQL stands for structured query language, guys. Okay, structured query language. Okay, so SQL stands for what? Structured query language. By using like as an SQL, okay, by using like as in the SQL, we can able to communicate. We can able to communicate with what? We can able to communicate with what? The different databases, different database softwares. Understand, guys? By using like as in the SQL language, so we can able to communicate with what? The different database softwares, guys. That is RDBMS. That is nothing but what? SQL databases. Okay, SQL databases, guys. Understand? That is the second point, guys. Okay, that is the second point. And SQL is what? The programming language, guys. SQL is what? The programming language for what? SQL is what? The programming language for RDBMS database softwares. RDBMS database softwares, guys. Okay, RDBMS database softwares. Okay, and SQL is what? Case sensitive programming language or case insensitive programming language? SQL is a case sensitive or case insensitive? It's a case insensitive programming language, guys. You can pass the SQL commands to the database by using SQL in either in the lower case or in upper case, guys. Okay, SQL is what? SQL is what, guys? Sorry, control or no. Yeah, SQL is what? SQL is the case insensitive. Okay, insensitive the programming language, guys. Means in programming language. Okay, it's a case insensitive, sir. It's a case insensitive. It is a case insensitive the programming language, guys. Insensitive the programming language. Understand? So means what? You can write like as in the SQL queries either in the uppercase letters or lowercase letters. Understand? SQL is nothing but an what? SQL supports ANSI standards, sir. ANSI standards. What do you mean by ANSI standards, sir? American National Standard Code for Interchange. Right or not? ANSI stands for what? American National Standard Code for an interchange or information, sir. Okay, so SQL supports like as in what? ANSI standards, sir. Why? Because as I told you, so SQL is a common language for any RDBMS database software, guys. That's why SQL is supporting for what? ANSI standards. Okay, whatever the query you are going to write, guys, that query will be the works on any database, universally accepted standards, sir. SQL. Understand? These are the some inputs, some of the information related to what? SQL. SQL stands for structured query language. By using like as an SQL, we can able to communicate with a different database softwares available in the market, that to what? RDBMS databases. Okay, by SQL is a programming language, guys. SQL is a programming language for what? RDBMS database softwares. And SQL is what? Case insensitive, the programming language, guys. And SQL supports for what, guys? Case SQL supports for what? ANSI standards. Okay, ANSI standards, guys. ANSI standards. Understand? Okay, yes. Okay, the syntax slightly the varying. So SQL is a nothing but on what? So ANSI standards or ANSI standards are why? Because means the implement so slightly will be the varying from the syntax, sir, from one database to another database. So slightly will be varying from the syntaxes. That to what? Databases point of view only, sir. Data types only. Okay, in the Oracle, so the data type will be supported for storing the number values or nothing but on what? Okay, so in the Oracle, that if you wanted to hold the number values, so that the data type which will be the supporting for what? Number. But in case of MySQL, if you wanted to hold the number value, means either you need to go for an big int. Okay, data types will be changed from one data type, from one database to another database case. No, sir. You can, I mean to say that, that's what I'm trying to say. As I told you, so NoSQL database, no, NoSQL database doesn't have the any common query language to store the data. Okay. You cannot use like as an SQL. Okay. SQL for storing the MongoDB data, sir. Okay. We'll be writing some, we'll be writing for a sort of commands to insert the data into an MongoDB. Understand? Okay. Yes. Hope you guys are comfortable so far. Sir, ANSI, sir, SQL stands for what? SQL supports like as an ANSI standard, sir. ANSI standard. So ANSI standard means it is a common language between the database softwares. It is a common language between the database softwares, guys. Understand? That is what the things are. Okay. Yes. So this is nothing but an end user, sir. This is nothing but an what? As a end user wanted to communicate with any RDBMS database by using what? SQL language, sir. Okay. So Oracle database will have the two kinds of programming, sir. One is a SQL language. Another one is called what? Oracle is having what? Okay. Oracle is supporting for what, guys? SQL and so SQL and what? Another one is what? PLSQL. What do you mean by PLSQL? Anyone? So what do you mean by PLSQL, sir? Oracle will support for what? SQL and PLSQL, sir. Okay. Yes. Okay. Sometimes. Okay. Okay. So with the help of the Oracle, so we are going to what? So we are going to what, guys? We are going to what? Working with an SQL programming language and working with what? Procedural language of an structured query language, sir. Where the use of the non-SQL MongoDB, sir. Sir, that's what I told you. So whenever you want, whenever you do not worry about the structure of and the database means, structure of and the data means, then it was always recommended to use for like what? MongoDB. Okay. When you do not bother about, the structure of and the data, or when you do not bother about like as in the structure of the data, and the structure of the data will be varying from one request to another request, then definitely you need to use like as in the NoSQL databases only, sir. Okay. Yes. So if you ask me which database, so which database will give you like as in the better performance means NoSQL database, NoSQL database softwares will give the better performances when compared to the RDBMS. Okay. So when compared to the RDBMS, so the NoSQL databases will give like as in the better performance. The reasons are several reasons, sir. Several reasons. So RDBMS database manage in the RDBMS, the data will be managed in the form of the relations, and we can have the primary key relationship and foreign key relationship. But in case of NoSQL databases, you do not have such kind of relationships, sir. Simple relationships will be there. And in RDBMS database software, we have the transaction management support will be there. Okay, but in case of NoSQL databases, so no transaction management support will not be there, sir. Understand? Sir, wherever you wanted to apply like as in the POC concepts, so project related POCs, so in such a cases, we are going to use for the NoSQL databases, which are lightweight. Okay. Yes. Nowadays in the cloud computing, so nowadays the cloud computing, we are using like as in the DynamoDB for storing the data of another temporarily for a request. Okay. Nowadays in the cloud computing, if your project is supporting for the cloud means, then definitely they will be the using for what? DynamoDB. Okay, in the DynamoDB, we are holding that the data at the cloud side, sir, cloud infrastructure. Clear? Any doubts as of now? Yeah. Okay, sir. Sir, in the tomorrow session, okay. So this is all about for the today's session, guys. In the tomorrow session, we will see like as in how to install the Oracle database in our local machine, sir. Okay. So you will, so in the tomorrow session, yes, sir, we'll be the covering like as in the both SQL and MySQL, SQL and PLSQL. Okay, PLSQL means nothing but on how to create a stored procedure, how to create a stored function, how to execute those stored procedure and function. Okay, all this such a stuff I'm going to talk you guys. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. Whatever the things I'm writing here in front of you, those things are going to be uploaded into the GitHub, sir. Okay. We'll share you that GitHub link in the tomorrow session. Okay. We'll share you like as in the GitHub link in the tomorrow session, sir. Okay. Whatever the things we are going to be the cover are in front of you or typing on the in front of you, that things will be there in the GitHub on the day basis. Okay. ANSI, sir. ANSI means American National Standard Code for Interchange or Information. Okay, that is nothing but on the certain standard, sir. C programming language is a ANSI standard, sir. Why? Because means you can write the C program with the help of English characters only. Understand? See, SQL is also the programming language. You can write like as in the SQL commands by using like similar to the English statements. Understand, guys? SQL is a programming language, guys. Programming language to interact with the RDBMS database softwares. Okay, ANSI means nothing but the set of the characters are available, whatever the characters are available on your keyboard. So those characters are supported by the ANSI. We are going to write a sort of SQL commands with the normal like English statements. Okay. Yes, as I told you guys, so we are going to, as I told you, we are going to share this to the day-wise class notes through the GitHub, sir. Okay. I will share you that link in the tomorrow session. Okay, tomorrow I would like to introduce like as in how to install the Oracle database in our local machines, sir. Okay, be ready with your the systems. If you are already installed like as in the Oracle database in your machine, means try to uninstall it and we'll install like as in the freshly in the tomorrow session, sir. Okay. Yes. No, sir. On the 17th November, no, I'm not to be the part of that. The 17th November full stack Java, sir. Any questions? If anybody having the questions, please raise a hand. I will give you that. I will give you the unmute option for you to ask your questions. Anybody having the questions? Yes. Sure, Hare Krishna. Like, so we are at, so whatever the things I was talking right now here, those are the basics only, and which you guys are already familiar in the market. That's why, okay, that's why I'm just taking up as in the somewhat fast the discussions. Okay, which you're already familiar in academics as well. Okay, yeah, that is the reason I'm just making up as in the fast, because we need to be the more concentrate on hands-on part. Hands-on part is very important, guys. Hands-on part is very important. Okay. Yes. What is the main difference between SQL and PL SQL language, sir? Okay, SQL is what? A structured query language. Structured query language which helps us to pass the SQL commands, which helps us to pass like as in what? One SQL command at a time, sir. But in case of what? PL SQL, procedural language of structured query language, where you can pass like as in the multiple commands, sir. Where you can pass like as in the multiple commands to process the business, to process some business logic. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Sir, you will be the getting like as in the backup videos case. You will be the getting like as in the videos access as well. Okay. Sir, whoever wanted to ask the question, just raise a hand. I will give you an option for unmute. Bishwa, I have given you the unmute option for you. You can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Actually, sir, I want to ask, are you going to cover PLSQL procedures and packages?
Sorry, sir.
Hi, sir. Actually, I want to ask, are you going to cover the PLSQL procedure packages and functions?
Yes, sir. Procedures, functions, and packages we are going to be the cover, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Abhilash, like, yeah, that's what I told you. So, okay, you are the non-IT background. Okay, no problem, sir. Tomorrow onwards, we'll make it slow. No problem. So as of now, for the today's discussion, we just identified what are the RDBMS database softwares are available in the market. In RDBMS database softwares, we are just maintaining the data in the form of what? Table structure in the rows and columns. That's all. Okay. In RDBMS database software, the data will be managed in the form of what? Structured format, sir. Structured format. Okay. Yes. Okay. And then we talked about NoSQL databases. In the NoSQL databases, the data will be managed in unstructured format, guys. Unstructured formats means nothing but several types of formats. So you no need to worry about this one. Okay. So we just need to focus on what? Oracle and MySQL. That's all. Okay. Yeah. Narendra, I given you the unmute option for you. You can ask your question. Narendra, I given you the unmute option for you.
Yeah, we have a non-SQL databases, right? Cassandra, like MongoDB, DynamoDB. How to communicate with those databases? Is there any particular languages for that?
So you mean to say that, yeah, that's what I told you for, that's what, if I wanted to communicate with the MongoDB, so definitely we are going to write some sort of commands. Okay. Sort of commands to create a document. Okay. To create a document or to create like as in the record. Okay. To get the document. Somehow we are going to write some sort of commands, which is not similar to SQL.
Yes, yes. In the MongoDB, we supposed to write everything in the JSON format, right?
Correct. Correct.
In the same way, is there any particular syntax like a JSON or any Java programming are going to be used in the same databases?
I mean to say in RDBMS?
Yes. No. In the NoSQL databases.
No, we do not have any common language for the NoSQL databases.
Do we need to use any programming languages to use the databases?
Yes, you can interact with the NoSQL databases from Spring Boot as well.
Spring Boot. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. This is my question.
Okay. Yes, whatever the questions you have, you can ask me, guys. I will give an unmute option. Firebase is what? NoSQL database. Okay, guys, don't worry. Okay, tomorrow onwards we'll go with a little bit slow because some of them are non-IT background students are there. Okay, so tomorrow onwards we'll go with an somewhat little bit slow, sir. Okay, so as of now, I just covered with RDBMS database softwares and the NoSQL database softwares. That's all. Nothing more than that. Yes, sir. So definitely, sir, so if you want to become like as in the developer at the DB side, you can have the positions with respect to what? DBA. Why do we only the SQL language? Why do we have only the SQL language? Don't we have no other languages? No, sir. If you wanted to communicate with the RDBMS, definitely you need to have the SQL. That is the standard common language given by the standard common language, guys, for your database vendors. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir. Definitely the opportunities will be there for the Oracle. If you are learn within the Oracle, so if you want, you will be the part of and the what? The DBA, sir. DBA engineer. Okay. Yes. Sir, what is the SQL? Narendra, right? What is the SQL? That's what I told you. So if I wanted to communicate from one person to another person, definitely T-SQL or SQL? T-SQL. Sorry. T-SQL. What is that one? T-SQL means. Okay, that is nothing but on the transaction SQL, sir. Okay, it is in a transaction SQL. It is nothing but on the it is a transactional SQL. Okay. Okay. Afiz Jabi Kaja. Like I just given you the unmute option for you. You can ask the question.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, you're going to cover both, no, sir, RDBMS and NRDBMS database software. So, for using, if you wanted to learn, means if later, for using that Hadoop framework and all big data, we need to know NoSQL database, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Using NoSQL database only, we are working on Hadoop
Hadoop
framework,
side. Yes,
big
correct.
data, no, sir.
Yes. Yes.
For RDBMS, only for means but large database we can't store in using RDBMS.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry, guys. Tomorrow onwards we'll take bit low. No problem at all. Okay. So the people are getting confusing. So because non-IT students are there. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead, Kaji. Like you
So for web applications, sir, which database we are going to use? RDBMS or no?
RDBMS, sir.
Database?
RDBMS.
only.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, for the big application and all, we are going to use RDBMS only.
Yes.
Web application.
Yeah. For the web applications, we are going to use an RDBMS only, sir. Mostly.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And in the real-time application development also, mostly we are going to use like as an according to if you are working with the banking domain projects. So definitely
Okay.
you will be the part of and the Oracle. So will be the using what Oracle database only. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
If you are working with an e-commerce type of an application, definitely they are also going to use like as the Oracle database only, sir.
But if you are doing cloud-based applications and
Yes.
all.
Yes. In such a cases, we have the AWS. If you are working with the cloud-based cloud-based applications, means definitely we will be the using what cloud-based services with respect to the database.
Okay.
DynamoDB is nothing but an what a
Uh-huh.
NoSQL database. NoSQL database from AWS cloud.
Okay. We'll go for the NoSQL only if we
Yes.
are developing a cloud-based applications.
No. In the cloud-based applications also, we have the support of an RDBMS and a SQL databases and NoSQL databases.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay, then I will upload these notes into the GitHub and will share you that link in the tomorrow session, guys. Okay. That's all for the today. Don't worry. Tomorrow onwards, we'll go for the bit slow. Okay. Because some of the non-IT candidates are there, guys. Okay. We'll be going for the bit slow in the tomorrow session. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to install the Oracle database in our session. Okay. Yes. That's all for today. Have a nice day. So bye-bye. Good night.